Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser, with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. By Chevy's Expert Auto Service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by Casino Queen Hotel and Casino, home of the loosest slots. We're at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis. Very, very hot day in the Midwest. And let's take a look at the lineup for the Oakland A's. They struggle on the road. It's Davis and then Derek Barton, followed by Jackson, who was just picked up, Kurt Suzuki, Sweeney, Kuzmanoff, Ellis, Pennington, and the pitcher, Mazzaro. And they'll get Chris Carpenter, our Marshall Wireless starter. And he has his 15th start of the season here tonight. Record of 7-1, 2.66 ERA.
Just brilliant pitching. Of course, the last 2 times out, he's gone 13 innings. He had 7 shutout innings out in L.A. and got no run support. Then he gave up 3 runs in the first inning. Ended up pitching 6 innings, gave up 3 with no run support.
Holiday, Rasmus, Ludwig in the outfield. Left to right on the infield, Freeze, Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols. And the battery tonight, Chris Carpenter and Yadier Molina. Cardinals defense presented by Dobbs. This is a base-stealing threat. Mr. Davis here. He's got 25 steals, hitting .271 on the year. Oakland currently on a 9-game road trip, and it's been a slow start for them. Just 1-5 on this 9-game road trip to San Francisco. They were swept there and then picked up 1 win in Chicago.
I saw Davis briefly with the Pittsburgh Pirates a couple years ago.
Here's a look at their manager, Bob Guerin. The Oakland A's now in his 4th year. Quickly, it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Carpenter working quickly, too. To Mr. Davis.
Well, it's hot out there.
Is it ever? Batting practice was the hottest it's been all year. Right down the middle, full count.
Davis really been hitting the ball well. He's got a 9-game hitting streak and 8 for 19 on the road trip. You touched on it. This team is very poor on the road.
That's past David Freese down into the corner. Watch Davis run. On his way to second base. He'll stop there with a leadoff double. So Freese was playing in just a bit, even with 2 strikes, and he shot it right by him.
Ball running in on him a little bit. He opens up, clears the hips, and off to running. He can fly as he now 9-game hitting streak, and here's the former Cardinal minor leaguer.
He was a first-round pick in 2003 and then traded for Mark Mulder. One of the things that Billy Beane talked about was Barton's on-base percentage that attracted him. You see his on-base percentage at .390.
He was 0 for 4 yesterday. That snapped a 15-game hitting streak on the road.
And bunting and bunted foul. By the way, Davis, if you're wondering, has stolen third base 4 times this year. He's 4 for 4. So keep an eye on him, but with a left-handed bat and with Molina throwing, you wouldn't think this would be the time he'd be running. Interesting to see Barton bunting here in the first inning, but you do have Carpenter on the mound.
Well, I also think you're going to play small ball. They're trying to get a lead. They know that they struggle on the road scoring runs. They'd like to think that runs are going to be a premium tonight against Carpenter.
And the A's are tied for the American League in sacrifice bunts, so this is nothing that is strange to them in trying to advance a runner.
One thing that surprised me, Dan, is looking at going over the roster for Guerin is how many guys have been on the disabled list and multiple times. I mean, they're just a banged up club.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Barton. Rounds it right side, only play for Pujols to step on the bag, and Davis advances to third base with just 1 out. So a productive out. And speaking of Albert Pujols, you were busy yesterday, weren't you?
Well, it was my pleasure to give up about a dozen runs to Albert's all-star team. is Down syndrome all-stars. Of course, Andy Bennis gave up more runs than I did, and he got the loss. And Albert gave up more runs as he was pitching to the Bulldogs. As had that game out at Mike Matheny Field. Of course, Mike Matheny was there, John Mabry, Skip Schumacher, Felipe Lopez, Tony put in an appearance, Kerry Robinson. Oh, there was a few more, but how about the fact that Stan the Man showed up?
It's unbelievable. Here's a 1-0 pitch on the inside corner. They set up inside and it missed, but it's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Stan got out of the golf cart. We saw the video in the pregame show and actually threw a pitch.
Threw it first pitch.
That is
better velocity than I had.
That's great.
Good pitch there.
Connor Jackson recently traded by Arizona to Oakland.
Yeah, he was acquired from Arizona on Tuesday with cash considerations in exchange for a minor league pitcher. He's 3 for 8 in a walk since he's joined the Athletics.
And a curveball that's pulled foul. Albert does such a wonderful job in our community with the Down Syndrome Association and also raising money for impoverished families in the Dominican Republic, and that's what his foundation is all about.
If you could only see how Albert interacts with those kids.
I have seen it.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Carpenter. And I think what you're saying, Al, is that, you know, and here's the curveball by Carpenter, but not to say that he's got that menacing scowl when he comes to the ballpark, but he does have that many times. He's just such business.
Right.
When he gets to the ballpark, and when you see him away from the field and from the stadium and around those children, he's just a different guy.
Yeah, this is work, and this is his livelihood, and that's his passion.
He's done an awful lot. 2 outs and runner at third, and here is Kurt Suzuki. He is from Hawaii, and he's now hit by a pitch. That curveball got away from Carpenter. Suzuki, by the way, led their team in RBIs a season ago. Here's Ryan Sweeney. So in this lineup, they have 3 lefties. You include the switch-hitting Pennington, who's batting 8th. The second of those 3 is Sweeney, who's hitting .305 with 1 home run. And he is driven in 29, the right fielder.
Much better hitter at home, where they are a much better team than on the road.
The numbers and the differences, when you consider where this team is on the road as opposed to home numbers, it's staggering. It's a totally different team.
Oh, they have a big ballpark, and they pitch much better there.
How about what their pitching has done? They've allowed 52 home runs on the road. That's just on the road.
And it was what, something like 14 or
17 at home.
17 at home.
And they've yielded the most home runs in the American League on the road, the fewest at home. 2-0 pitch to Sweeney. That's 3-0. Pitch a little up from Carpenter, and you know Carpenter's a guy that sweats an awful lot. Tonight he'll be dripping. Mike Gallego, whose son Nico Gallego plays for the UCLA Bruins and is now in Omaha. Son Nico actually had a couple of the top plays at SportsCenter. Young player for UCLA. Bases are loaded with 2 outs. Mike, of course, spent some time here in St. Louis.
Yep. You don't often see a hit batter and a walk, particularly after a double. The same inning from Carpenter.
He fell behind on the leadoff man Davis. That turned into a double. Barton grounded out to first to advance him. Strikeout of Jackson. Kurt Suzuki was hit by a pitch. Walked to Sweeney. Now the base is loaded for Kuzminoff, who's swinging a hot bat.
Over 400 in June. We saw Kuzminoff get to the big leagues with San Diego. And young player, we thought he was going to be there for quite a while, but struggled a little bit. Became kind of the center of attention by their fans, but seemed like a pretty good ball player.
Now, he was one of the guys that was in front of David Freese.
Yes.
Freese was not able to advance, and Chase Headley then came along, and now David Freese in the Cardinal uniform. And that's strike two.
I found the open now, Carpenter and Dave Duncan want him to throw a lot less curveballs and incorporate his cutter more. But if you don't have that pitch, especially in a situation where the base is loaded, it's hard to trust it. But that's something you're going to see as the course of the season. He'll throw the cutter more frequent.
Here's the 0-2. Slowly hit. Carpenter barehands it to Albert. Gets out of the early jam. A's strand the bases loaded. Cardinals coming up in their half of the first, and there's no score. Score Oakland and St. Louis. And let's take a look at the Cardinals batting lineup. Schumacher, Holiday, and Pujols. And then it'll be Ludwig, Rasmus, Freese, Molina, Carpenter, and Ryan. That's presented by Southwest Airlines. Vin Mazzaro is the pitcher for Oakland, and this will be his fourth start and seventh appearance on the year.
Well, the A's are 2-1 in his starting assignments this year, 8-12 in his career. Began the season at AAA. He's basically a two-pitch pitcher. It's a fastball and slider. Does have a curveball, but really doesn't throw it much to where you can really kind of even forget about it. And his fastball really doesn't have sink, it slides.
Quickly, 2 balls, no strikes on Schumacher. By the way, a late addition to the giveaway calendar is a Skip Schumacher ball tomorrow night. And that's right down the middle. So you won't find that on your pocket schedule, but Skip Schumacher ball is alive and well, and it'll be there tomorrow night. Up the middle, base hit. Leadoff hit for Schumacher. Let's look at the defense. Jackson, Davis, and Sweeney in the outfield for Oakland, and Kuzmanov, Pennington, Ellis, and Barton along the infield. And our battery tonight, Vin Mazzaro and Kurt Suzuki.
Again, I was talking to Tony La Russa this afternoon about Schumacher, but particularly Holiday, about struggling this year. The average is fine, but with runners in scoring position, how much he's struggling. And his mind is just purely just trying to do too much. Just human nature. You sign that big contract, you want to prove to everyone you are deserving of it, and you just try too hard, and he's trying to grip the bat into sawdust. It's like a pitcher, when you get you try and do too much and you just want to throw a ball through a brick wall, you tense up and those forearms tighten up and you can't throw it as hard and it just doesn't have the life. You just have to relax.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. I believe he has changed his walk-up music to the plate. I know a lot of fans are always curious about the walk-up music. Yes, that is chosen by the players themselves.
That'll do it.
Change your luck.
Sure did change for Kobe once he dumped Jim Hayes' recommendation.
3-1 the count. So Jim had a recommendation for Kobe.
Oh yeah, he had one for Kobe, and worst few days of Kobe's career. That walk-up music.
Ooh, good rip. The Cardinals all time in this series of interleague play have really dominated the Oakland A's. You get a look at Barton and Schumacher. Those two knew each other from the minor leagues. Here's a 3-2. Holiday rips it into center. Davis is back. Look at that, a line drive homer for Matt Holiday. 2-0 Cardinals. A frozen rope.
Holiday's got something to show and prove to the Oakland A fans, as the Cardinals acquired him the trade deadline for them. His fastball right down in the middle of the plate, and he crushed it to dead center field, and the Cardinals with a quick 2-0 lead. The first runs they've scored for Carpenter in his last 3 starts.
I hope a fan is okay out there. I mean, that ball was smoked. Goodness. It got out in a hurry, and it's 2-0 Cardinals.
That is more indicative of Matt Holiday.
There's Pujols. And always good news with that home run hit by Matt Holiday. Another $17,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. Make a donation. You can call 800-798-CURE. Or you can go online and make a donation. PCF.org. PCF.org. 3-0 on Albert. You know he's got the green light. Fouls it back. This year at 308, 15 homers, 49 driven in. Holiday, his 7th home run, RBIs 26 and 27. Nazaro may have gotten away with that pitch as Pujols hits it a mile high. And Connor Jackson has it for out number 2. Excuse me, the first out here in the bottom of the first. Our keys to the game. Look at that relievers ERA, and that's been a sore spot with them at times this year. In this head-to-head all-time matchup, that ERA of the relievers over 14. Remember one game, the Cardinals out west actually had Scott Spezio pitching. We had a feature on him in our pregame show.
Ludwig played with a lot of these young A's players.
By the way, in our home run challenge, tack on another 1,000. It's 18,000 for every home run raised tonight.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Tonight. So you get 18 grand, not 17, but 18. That's great.
I saw the graphic 18, and we want to get as much money as we can for that research.
Here's Colby Rasmus with 2 outs. Talking with Colby about opening up, Al, and I mentioned if he had opened up his stance, and he said, "You're observant." He said, "I have."
I talked to Tony about too that, you know, he said 6 home runs in his last 13 games. His high for a month is 6, and you don't want a young player to get home run conscious. And usually, when you get home run or thinking about home runs, you open up. So it's not always the best thing. And you may do it for a while, but maybe other pitchers, that's one of the things that pitchers will start noticing, that he opens up a little bit, and then they'll try and work him away.
Like that.
Trying to backdoor the ball there.
2-2 the count. Two pitch. Off the end of the bat. Davis barely has to move and puts it away. Matt Holliday. A line drive homer to center. 2-0.
Our U.S. Cellular text poll. Which trade with the A's was the most exciting at the time? The Eckersley, McGuire, Mulder, or Holliday? Text trades A, B, C, or D to 432-432.
So which trade?
I got my thoughts.
Got you going. McGuire.
McGuire would be the one.
I remember last year, though, as far as a trade that got a team going, there's no question that Holliday got the team going last year, and excitement and a buzz at this ballpark.
Well, the Cardinals did a great job prior to that trade of playing a very difficult first half schedule and then holding on and right there in position. Then when they got Holliday, it just took off. The team took off. Won their 8th division title under Tony La Russa. So Ellis with a base hit here.
You know, Al, that trade doesn't happen without the fan support last year. The Cardinals projected $2.8 million. They got close to 3.4, and we can tell the fans tonight they have gone over 3 million tickets sold tonight. So that has happened earlier today. So they'll have over 3 million again this year. And hopefully it'll get up to 3.3, 3.4. You never know.
And last year, not knowing what would happen with the economy, they initially projected 2.8, then they revised that to 3.
That's a fair ball past David Freese. And this will be a double for Pennington. It'll bring in the pitcher. Nice piece of hitting here by Pennington.
Set up away. He hits his target, but just slices down on that ball just inside the third base bag, and hard to defense that one. Now the A's, like most American League clubs, really at a disadvantage when they have their pitchers hit in National League parks. They are very, very inept.
They're 0 for 12 with 7 strikeouts. They do have a couple of sacrifices this year. And if you want to look all time in Italy play, They have just 22 hits, the pitchers for Oakland. 22 for 245. So they are at an extreme disadvantage coming to a National League park. If you're wondering, that's 090. But how about that? $3 million again this year in 2010 and on the rise.
Well, the Cardinals don't take that lightly. They appreciate it with the economy here now.
And hit the line and then went foul. Freeze had to stay with it.
Lazaro is 0 for 2. That was last Sunday against San Francisco. Those are his first official at-bats in his career. He had 4 plate appearances last year, but it sacrifice hit and all, so he sacrificed in all 4 of them. Now he's 0 for 3.
So a second strikeout for Carpenter, who pitched out of a jam in the first. Going back to the holiday deal, that doesn't happen unless the Cardinals go well above $3 million, which they did. At that time, it went into payroll, the extra revenue that was not expected in their budget.
Well, Mr. DeWitt has always been the kind of owner that those fans come through the turnstiles, he'll increase the payroll and acquire a player to make the difference.
Many ways it began with McGuire when he came to St. Louis. Cardinals drew record crowds, huge numbers. That turned into a trade to get Kyle and Veers. Beanie came aboard. That team won in 2001 and 02. Mathematically alive. The final weekend of the year in 03. 04 World Series. NLCS 05. They win the World Series in 06. So tremendous run being put together. Here's a grounder, backhanded by Brendan Ryan to first, not in time with the speed of Davis and an RBI.
Great effort by Brendan Ryan, and someone without that speed, they would have had the runner at first base. So the third hit of the inning, and Brendan showing that tremendous range. Remember, you got one of the speediest runners coming out of the batter's box. So he dives, leaves his feet. Albert tries to pull his foot there to sell it to Joe West, but an infield single, and now the A's are on the board.
Pennington did not advance to third on that play, so there is a positive with Brendan Ryan keeping that on the infield. And here's Barton.
Brendan told me he played a lot with Derek Barton in the Cardinals minor league system. He said one year, Brendan said he led the league in hitting, and Barton was either second or third. He was a catcher back in those days with the Cardinals, playing first base now.
And he grounded out to Pujols at first. He's 0 for 1, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Carpenter, better part of this game early on, has been pitching behind in the count.
As good as Carpenter is, that's still not recommended in the way of pitching.
3-1. And that's tapped foul, 3-2. By the way, Steven Strasburg making a start tonight. They're in the bottom of the 7th and trailing 1-0 in that game. He might actually lose one of his starts.
Dan, if you would like to bet, and I know there's no betting in baseball, I'll bet he'll lose a few games in his career.
I'm with you. A 3-2 pitch now to Barton. Popped up. Freeze will give it a look, and it's out of play. Chris Carpenter since 04 in interleague play. You see what he's done against the American League, 3-4, National League 72-21. Kind of a microcosm of what a lot of American League pitchers do once they get to the National League. It seems like any of those guys you shouldn't give up on. Give them a chance in the National League. Just go ask the Cubs and Carlos Silva.
I knew where you were going.
Strasburg, 7 innings, 4 hits, 10 strikeouts, but trailing 1-0. 3-2 the count here on Barton. Just underway. We're in the second inning and a 2-1 Cardinals lead.
We think Silva lost today to the Angels.
Popped up again. Playable for Freeze. Our next Family Sunday this weekend, Cards and A's. All fans purchasing a terrace or pavilion reserved seat also will get a free Hunter hot dog and Coke. It's an ice cream sundae before the game. All kids that afternoon will receive a plastic bat and ball set. Compliments of Powerade and Shop and Save. That's this Sunday. Still some tickets remaining at Cardinals.com. You have a busy day. Ice cream sundae. A family Sunday, which means you get the free hot dogs and Coke and the bat and ball set.
It's also Father's Day. And we'll be broadcasting.
We'll be at the Champions Club. Connor Jackson struck out his first time up.
Fooled by that one badly. That was the cutter, and that shows you how that pitch is improving.
One ball, one strike. That pitch is hammered out to deep left. Holiday won't get it. One hops off the wall. And this will give the A's a 3-2 lead. 2-out double for Jackson. Three to 2 Oakland here in the top of the second.
Connor Jackson's first RBIs in the American League. And tried to come with that cutter again. This time it didn't have the same bite. Left it more in the plate. Hit hard out into left center. And plates 2. So already 5 Oakland hits against Carpenter here in the first inning and 2/3.
Pitch taken a little bit low for a ball. Kurt Suzuki. 8 home runs. He's driven in 29. You don't hear a lot about him, but he is truly one of the better catchers in Major League Baseball.
He just came back reinstated from bereavement. Family medical emergency list on Tuesday. He's 2 for 12 in the 3 starts since his return. I believe it was grandparents. One of his grandparents died.
That's a strike. Suzuki hit by a pitch back in the first.
He's tied for 3rd among AL catchers with 8 home runs and 4th with 28 RBIs despite missing 19 games. That was on the disabled list and also on the bereavement list.
And already Carpenter approaching 50 pitches, not through 2 innings.
We've seen at times where he'll have a tough inning and then all of a sudden he'll reel off 4 or 5 innings in about that same 50 pitch total.
One ball and 2 strikes on Kurt Suzuki, hitting 190 in this spot. Down the left field line. Holiday is over and runs out of room. You've talked about it, Al. You've got about 1 step as you go down the left and right field line, and then you're hitting that wall.
You can feel when your feet go from grass to dirt, but You know it's there, and you can see right up against the wall and how tough. Never quite gets there. But you see how quickly you can run right into it. It's padded, but you wouldn't know it.
1-2 pitch. Center field, that's a base hit. Tails a little bit on Colby. Here comes a throw to the plate. Good throw. Not in time, and no one's at second base. Four to 2 Oakland. Suzuki winds up all the way at third base.
Single RBI. And it has to be a breaking ball, and it has to be an unfair error. Fabian Molina has no middle infielders protecting, covering the second base bag. So a very tough error. Now, they give E8. How can you give an E8? That may be one of the most ridiculous scoring.
Now it goes to E2. There you go.
Is the right one, but unfairly penalized Molina for no one covering the bag.
Here's Sweeney now, who walked his first time up. It's a 4-2 Oakland lead.
Single RBI, takes second on the throw, and the E2 allows him to go to third.
Couple of hops to Pujols. And a big inning for Oakland. They pick up 4 runs and they pick up a lead. 4-2 midway through 2. SportsMidwest.com for all your Cardinals news and info. Our writer B.J. Rain spent Thursday out at Miracle Field in Chesterfield for the Pujols Family Foundation Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. You can read about the wonderful event and more at FoxSportsMidwest.com. A lot of highlights and stories there.
Had a lot of fun today with Rita Harding and her family, Sandy Glenn, and played in the Bob Hardy Memorial US Open out at Scott Air Force Base. You remember Bob Hardy?
Our interleague fact presented by Southwest Airlines. Highest National League average, interleague 010, and David Freese at 478.
Touched on it the other day, but David Freese should be getting a lot more recognition as a candidate for Rookie of the Year.
2-1 pitch.
Second in the National League with a .391 home batting average. He's leads all National League rookies in batting average and hits, second in RBIs.
By the way, our interleague fact is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Your bags fly free. Book now at southwest.com. Weight and size limits apply. Here's a 3-2. And Freese a little tardy with that swing and strikes out. First strikeout tonight for Mazzaro.
Mazzaro had a little trouble the first two batters, but he's retired 4 in a row. And their fastball just overpowers David up in the zone.
Well, today around the batting cage, many of the Oakland personnel coming over to say hello to Tony La Russa, and also Big Mac, Mark McGuire. All his years spent with the Oakland A's.
Asked both of them, if it was special to them. And Tony said, I still have some friends that were part of the traveling party, or some friends with Oakland. Wasn't real happy with the direction of some things going on with them, but McGuire felt that no big deal. If it was a player, it'd probably mean a little bit more to him.
0-2. 1-2. I asked him, I said, is this what you bargained for? Is this what you thought it was going to be? And he said, don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of sleepless nights, but this has been really enjoyable. Late break, but with that good speed, he can make it up. It's Davis out there, their center fielder, and there's 2 outs. The Eagles come to Busch Stadium on Thursday, June 24th. Special guest, the Dixie Chicks. And you can get 50% off all remaining Eagles concert tickets. Those are available at cardinals.com/Eagles. Enter coupon code EAGLES to receive 50% off all remaining tickets. As far as seat locations, there are tremendous seat locations here at the ballpark for the Eagles and the Dixie Chicks. 2 strikes on Carpenter.
Pitcher's got a good arm. He's only 23 years of age. Late September, he'll turn 24. Making fast work of it.
He strikes out 2 and 2 in the game. 2 innings in the book. And a 2-run lead. St. Louis is brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by Jack in the Box. Hey fans, go to Jack in the Box to get a Soccer Jack antenna ball for only $1 plus tax.
Happy birthday to our esteemed director, Tom Mee. He's 35 today. You know who else's birthday it is today? about the great Lou Brock? And if you'd like to wish Lou Brock a happy birthday, text happy birthday to the number 94932. Standard text rates apply. Jim Jackson's birthday.
1 ball, 1 strike.
You didn't know Tom was only 35, did you?
Been 35 for a while. Two-one pitch. See Carpenter a little frustrated right now, trying to find the zone. 3-1. If you want to make Tom's birthday, buy his book. He doesn't want a present. He wants you to buy his book. Freeze waited, and Ryan comes up with it. Kuzmanoff retired. That's Cutting the Game, written by our own Tom Mee. CuttingTheGame.com to find it. Cabot Woodstain legendary performance. 1939. Lou Brock is born in Arkansas. 938 steals. And this year, the Brock umbrella is back.
Oh, yeah.
By popular demand, it's coming back.
They got the red and white version, right? First one Lou ever came out was the rainbow color Brock umbrella. And then he started doing college colors and logos on them. Had to have a Brock umbrella.
Hit sharply to third. Two away, and it brings in the 8th place hitter, Pennington.
And they also work. So I'm sure that day we're going to have everybody wearing Brock umbrellas in the stands for relief.
Found, I'd say, when the gates open here and you're watching BP around 5 o'clock, you'd like the Brock umbrella.
Most definitely. What days is that?
I'll have to look it up. I know it's right around the corner. I believe it's the weekend of the 4th of July. And the guys in the truck are telling me Friday, July 2nd. I know that's a weekend full of giveaways. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the Thursday night is a half-price night. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, good seats for that 4th of July weekend. Southwest Bank in our pitch update at 64. Base hit by Pennington. Swing and a miss by Mazzaro. Pennington is 2 for 2 with that single to right. Mazzaro struck out. One ball, 1 strike. 4-2 Oakland. And that's a strike. So says Angel Hernandez. One-two pitch. Third strikeout for Carpenter tonight. 2 of them of Mazzaro. and see who's enjoying the game. Budweiser, it's what we do. Along with Al Rabaski, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and it's 4-2 Oakland as we welcome you back inside to Busch Stadium. Brendan Ryan will lead it off, the 9th place hitter in this lineup. It'll be Ryan and then Schumacher and Holiday. And the first pitch is taken for a strike. One thing about Mazzaro, he's been aggressive here early on in this ball game, working quickly and establishing that fastball.
Well, that's it. He's really got only 2 pitches. So that fastball is a big part of it. There's his other one, this slider. And his fastball kind of runs a little bit. So it's got a little movement.
That's off the end of the bat. Strike 2, 1-2.
There was the slider.
And his fastball has been at around 93, 94 tonight. And the Cardinals talked about him having a little bit of that late giddy-up that you see with the fastball. 1-2 pitch. Slider. Reaches for it. Grounded to short. And Brendan out by a step. Back to the top of the lineup and Skip Schumacher. And there's a look at Mark McGwire, who's been wearing his jersey lately. Not
it's too hot.
The sweatshirt that you normally would see at the beginning of the year.
I think you need to wear the jersey. Not a fan of the guys wearing their sweatshirts in there.
Remember in Boston, Terry Francona, also at Tampa Bay. Mr. Madden took some heat for that. One for one tonight. Schumacher with a single up the middle. Chase that pitch and hits it out of play. His career here at Busch Stadium, Skip Schumacher, a .293 hitter. Started play tonight at .240 overall. And he'll ground it to second. 2 outs, and those are the first 2 ground outs from Mazzaro tonight. You can follow the Cardinals on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone. It's MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. For more information, visit Cardinals.com today. Here's Holiday, who homered to center his first time up. That home run was his 7th of the year. RBIs 26 and 27 for the former A and Colorado Rocky. He's such a big, strong man. If he puts a good swing on it, the ball's just going to jump off his bat.
No doubt about his strength. They talk about the apparatus that they have that tests the strength, hand strength of a player. And last year when he joined the ball club, remember Albert's elbow was barking a little bit, so it wasn't really fair for him. But Holiday virtually broke it. And his strength was just off the charts.
2-1 the count. Outfield plays him a bit to the opposite field. Big gap in left center. He hits another shot to left. Two-out base hit for Matt Holliday brings it Pujols. He'll represent the tying run. It's another edition of interleague play tonight. The Oakland A's from the American League West and your St. Louis Cardinals from the National League Central Division. The Oakland A's at the start of play tonight find themselves 6 games out and 2 games under the 500 mark. They trail LA and Texas. It's only a 4-team division. We just saw Seattle. They salvaged a game on Wednesday night. The Cardinals begin play, a half game back of Cincinnati. Cincinnati with 1 more win than St. Louis. There's 37-30.
Cincinnati will be playing later tonight out at Seattle.
2-0 the count on Pujols. Ground ball and a foul ball. Cardinals will wrap up the homestand Sunday with Oakland. It's a travel day on Monday, off day. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be in Toronto. And then next weekend in Kansas City. You know, there'll be a bunch of Cardinal fans at Kauffman Stadium next weekend.
I understand those tickets are very scarce.
No surprise.
No. And we're happy that the Royals will be able to sell out the series.
If you missed it, they will host the 2012 All-Star Game. That announcement coming a couple of nights ago. So congratulations to the Royals. I found it interesting. Bud Selig said if you go back a few years ago, he said it was hard to find a team that actually wanted the All-Star Game in their city. And now he says we got everybody lined up to try to get the All-Star Game. A 3-1 pitch and a walk to Pujols.
Part of that is, you know, Major League Baseball really takes over your ballpark. They control the ticketing, and it actually costs a franchise money to host the game. You know, you have a lot of additional costs that you do not get compensated for. I think a team like the Cardinals are more than happy to do it as a favor to their fans and create that buzz. But there is an outlay of cash that you don't get reimbursed.
Two outs and 2 on.
Big Cardinal fan Gracie Maurer at home pulling for Ryan Ludwig right now.
Let's take a look at Ryan Ludwig as a Cleveland Indian.
Against
that was
Mulder.
over Martin Mulder, who's through with baseball and concentrating on golf. And then as a Cardinal, he went deep. It was in 2007. That was the first time and the last time that Ludwig saw the Oakland A's. Here's the 0-2. Off-speed pitch, taken a little bit high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Ludwig, you can make a case that he's been right there with Albert as the MVP of this team.
Streaky hitter, but he's been on a tear of late.
He's bounced around in this lineup too. And this time he strikes out. So Ludwig go for 2, 3 strikeouts for Bizarro. 4-2 Oakland as we move to the 4th. There's Davis with a base hit. Now the running game becomes part of the A's plan possibly tonight against the Cardinals. Davis with 25 steals. So one pitch and a base hit. That's how we're underway in the fourth.
It's already 8 hits against Carpenter. 3 by Davis. You said a threat to steal, but this combination of Carpenter and Molina, there's only been one successful steal against them. You can say that pretty much against most of the Cardinal pitchers.
That's hit out to right. Over to get it to Ludwig. He'll make the catch, and Davis back to first. Reminder to stay tuned for tonight's postgame show with Jim Hayes, and you can watch the Cardinals' favorite replay moment voted on by you, the fans. It's coming up on the postgame show. So on the pregame show, the strikeout of Carlos Beltran by Adam Wainwright, scene that most won't soon forget. By the way, Steven Strasburg sets the Major League record tonight for most strikeouts in 3 starts to begin a career. 30 got him ahead of former Astros ace and hard thrower J.R. Richard.
It's amazing the stats they have today, isn't it?
The guy that has just been remarkable this year has been Ubaldo Jimenez. Have you taken a look statistically at what he's doing?
He's kind of 13-1. That's the best since Clemens was 14-0. Keeping pace with guys like Gibson and his 1.12 ERA year.
That's fought off and backhanded by Pujols. Out there, back to first, double play. Nifty double play, started by number 5. It's Cardinals Crew, made possible by Shriners Hospital for Children. It airs Saturdays at 11:30 right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Here's Colby Rasmus. Now, I mentioned earlier talking with Colby how he has opened up his stance. You see that front right leg a little bit more open. And he still picks it up. And he said one thing that he's done, he said his head was moving all over the place. He said in spring he was really locked in. He got away from that after about the first 3 or 4 weeks of the regular season. But by opening up and still having that leg kick, it's given him balance on how he's using that leg kick. And he said Bottom line is my legs are more into my swing too, more my base and my power.
And so he's generating more power, resulting in the home runs he's hit this month. Head moving would explain why his strikeouts were up.
So what happens if this doesn't start to work? He says, well, I got to change it.
Go to the next step.
I'm on to the next one. 2-2. I've enjoyed being around Colby, and I think his teammates have as well, as they've gotten to know him a little bit. Yeah, they've got to know him a little bit better and what makes him tick. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Colby. Hits it down the right field line, but in the seats.
Things are going better in his personal life, and now the second year he's a little more acclimated to the major league scenes, what's expected of him. Teammates, as you mentioned, are a little more comfortable. He's still only 23 years of age.
By the way, Ubaldo Jimenez, we were talking about the outstanding right-hander of the Rockies. His ERA is now dipped to 1.15 with 13 wins. But the Rockies, who have been playing pretty well as of late, get a blow as Troy Tulowitzki will miss at least a minimum of 6 weeks with a broken wrist. He was hit by a pitch.
Heard that today.
3-2. And that's a walk to Colby. So once again, the tying run will come to the plate. Keep your beverage cool in the heat of summer. A convenient Cooley Cup that fits pint glasses, stadium cups, and your ice-cold Budweiser. Saturday, July 3rd, Cardinals take on the Brewers. 25,000 fans ages 21 and older receive the Cooley Cup, courtesy of our friends at Anheuser-Busch. For tickets, visit Cardinals.com. The Cooley Cup on July 3rd. I'm sure a lot of fans are thinking, well, it's the 4th of July weekend, and this place will be filled up. It's actually not the case right now. There are a lot of really good seats for that weekend series against Milwaukee. It is a 4-game series, and the first night, that Thursday, is a half-price night.
Well, a lot of times, so many people from St. Louis go out of town. And, a lot of people will come in town for... Do they still have all the... don't have everything down on the riverfront that they used to. Don't have the air shows anymore, right?
Double play ball, no, 4-6-3. Depends every year. We'll mix it up. 4-6-3 on the double play. Brings in Molina, who's flied out to center. This date in history, 2005, while improving to 8-0, Matt Morris pitches 8 innings, allowing 5 hits and 2 earned runs, beating Tampa Bay 5-2. A Schnucks this date in history. Two outs and nobody on. Late swing that time by Molina. Big Mac was saying Molina's the guy that's always asking for the extra 3 to 5 cuts. His time frame is up. He says he's always trying to squeeze 3 or 5 more swings into BP.
Anything. I think if you took a poll of all retired ball players, it'd say the amount of hitting that's done today is way overboard. How much practice they do in the cages and on the field.
For a guy like Yachty, I'm assuming you'd rather just see him get his cuts and then get back into the AC of, the clubhouse.
Anytime I'd stand and read, they would be thankful if they got 8 cuts.
Couple of hops to second, and the Cardinals are through in their half of the 4th. Oakland with a 4-2 lead. Allstars.com. And the winner from the Cardinals will be honored at the All-Star Game in Anaheim July 13th. And that's a live look at the Hall of Famer Lou Brock as they just sang happy birthday to Lou.
Got a whistle around his neck.
The Missouri Moment is brought to you by the Missouri Division of Tourism. Go to visitmo.com to start planning your next Missouri getaway. This is the Liberty Memorial and World War I Museum in Kansas City. It's the only American museum dedicated solely to preserving the objects, history, and personal experiences of a war whose impact still echoes today. If you'd like to find out more when visiting Kansas City, all you have to do is go to visitmo.com.
Something new. Didn't know about that.
No, I didn't either. Here's Suzuki. And the first pitch, a strike. One for one. He's been hit by a pitch, has an RBI and a single. High strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Sharp breaking ball from Carpenter. And that is strikeout number 4. New president of the Texas Rangers is Nolan Ryan, and he has confirmed the club's interest in trying to acquire Roy Oswalt, and those two have a very good relationship. When Nolan Ryan was a special assistant with Houston.
He also owned the AAA franchise of the Houston Astros, and knew Oswalt going through there.
There's a broken bat, and that'll find the seats out of play. See Carpenter here in this beginning of this half inning. He's had 5 pitches, all have been strikes. Working quickly and Carpenter-esque, the look to him.
Now, he's given up 8 hits, but still he's kept his team in this ball game, and we'll see if he can just close it out. A couple more innings should be characteristic for him, and see if Pizarro on the other end, making only his 4th start this season, see if he starts tiring.
Mentioned before, you get into the Oakland bullpen, and that has been a sore spot this year for the A's. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Sweeney's done his damage against right-handed pitching, hitting close to .330 this year against the righties. And overall, he's hit .305. 2-2. Schumacher to his left, 2 away. After the game, Cardinals Live is broadcasting from the Aqua Bar at Lumiere Place Casino. And you can see player interviews. Also, Tony La Russa. Rick Horton will be part of that telecast tonight along with Jim. It's U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live after the game right here on Fox Sports Midwest. There's Kuzminoff 0 for 2. And now 0 for 3. Ryan up with it. Carpenter a little bit of a groove as that only took 9 pitches. He'll lead it off when we come back. Do the A's have? There were some previous to their time in Oakland. Philadelphia, they had 5, and with Oakland, it's 4. And it's 4-2. The A's lead this ball game in the bottom of the 5th. Boy, Tony had some good teams, didn't he?
Sure did.
Loaded.
A lot of talent.
Kansas City A's. Dave Duncan knows a thing or two about that.
Rick Mundy, Tony La Russa, Dave Duncan.
What do you think it's like in Boston tonight?
Return of Manny?
Return of Manny Ramirez to
I think right now they're probably pretty happy because they have a 10-5 lead.
So they're not too worried about Manny tonight.
No.
Carpenter strikes out. Mazzaro with 4. Well, June 20th, that is this Sunday. I want to remind you once again, fans ages 15 and under receive a plastic bat and ball. Compliments of Powerade and Shop and Save. Perfect for the pickup game outside with friends and family. For more information, visit Cardinals.com. Good seats still remaining. You can make an entire day of it. Ice cream sundae. It's also a family Sunday on the purchase of select tickets. You get the free hot dog and Coke. And also the bat and ball set. That's this weekend, this Sunday against the A's. And we'll be out at the Champions Club.
Can't wait.
Always fun to be out there, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull Rizzuto on you. I'm gonna be the one grabbing your belt loop and not letting you escape for 7 innings.
I didn't do that last year.
Well, what, only 5?
About 5, and Ricky was upset.
Better watch out. Don't get Ricky upset.
1-1 pitch. Father's Day this weekend as well. There was one of the greatest poems that Jack Buck ever wrote. Was about a father and son playing catch. You ever heard that?
Oh, yes. Heard him recite it.
Here's a 2-1 pitch.
And this is the 8th anniversary of Jack's passing. Never can forget that.
Jack wrote the poem, and then Casey Van Allen, who at that time worked at KMOX, put the music and sound effects to it. It's just a wonderful tribute, and you get the chance to ever to hear it, listen to it. It's just amazing. 3-2 is the count with 1 out. And that misses inside. Brought up a very valid point now. You wonder with Mazzaro how deep you can go with him. Again, only his 4th start of the season here tonight. He's worked out of the bullpen. All 3 games this weekend right here on Fox Sports Midwest. The former Milwaukee Brewer, Ben Sheets, who's 2-6, goes against Adam Wainwright tomorrow. We're on the air at 5:30, and Wainwright is 9-4. A lot of people were surprised the A's went out and picked up Ben Sheets for the amount of money that they gave him, $10 million. But if he has success and can get to where he was or has been, he becomes a commodity then down the stretch, and that's how you can stockpile your system or try to get prospects, some of the players that maybe can even help you right now. That's a base hit at the right. Schumacher, his 2nd hit. Ryan on his way to 3rd. He's in there.
Well, you're right about that, but he's an expensive experiment.
Sure is.
And right now the Cardinals are hoping that they can get a return on their money. And Schumacher, multi-hit game for him. Ryan flying there, goes from 1st to 3rd. And now you bring up Holiday, who's been the bright spot for the Cardinals. But we'll see right now. He's still got to relax. As he's 2 for 2. He hit a 2-run home run in the 1st. Man was on 1st. But now trying to hit with the runner in scoring position has been his problem this year.
Little check swing. He asked for a new baseball, he'll get it. Our buddy Mark Walsh is busy before the first game of a series. He's always rubbing up the baseballs for the entire series. They don't just come out of the box, do they?
No, they don't. Put a special mud on it to take the shine off it.
One ball, one strike.
Here, that situation we talk about how Holiday just really trying to do too much. You know, he's gripping the bat, trying to squeeze the sawdust out of it. There's a slider there. Earlier he tried to, or he did check his swing on the first pitch slider. So 30%. Really struggling with runners in scoring position, period.
Shallow left. It drops in for a base hit. We'll get an RBI, and that cuts the lead to 4-3.
And maybe that's what he needed. Is Connor Jackson fooled and thought that ball was going to carry more, but third RBI of the game for Holiday, and it brings up Pujols. Jam shot right here. Just out there, should be deep enough for the left fielder to catch it, but he comes up short on it. He's kind of looking for help, as he knew he wasn't going to get there. We're talking about Pizarro. Danny's tossed 6 innings or less in each of his last 18 starts. He did go 6 innings his last time, but
well, Bob Guerin is thinking right along with you, because they now have activity in their bullpen. Pizarro approaching 90 pitches on the night. Here's Pujols with runners at first and second. A righty getting loose for Oakland. And that's Tyson Ross. Cardinals down by a run. The tying run is at second. Go ahead run at first. Pujols up the middle, base hit. Schumacher being waved in. He will score. And it's 4-4.
#50th RBI for Pujols. Schumacher comes around. He's got a pair of hits and 2 runs scored. Good job by a leadoff man. Holiday 3 for 3. All of the Cardinal hits. 6 of their hits have been first 3 in the order. So right up the middle, and that may be it, as Suzuki, the catcher, out to talk to his pitcher again, stalling, maybe giving time for Ross to warm up, get loose out there in the pen. You don't like those kind of talks. Catcher comes down and says, hey, I don't want to be here, but they told me to. You're not going to throw another pitch, so.
'85 pitches tonight for Pizarro.
How will we get another? They just checking with a phone down the bullpen. And it looks like confirmation is now they got a lefty starting to toss.
That would be for Colby, who is on deck. That's Cedric Bowers, who is the lefty getting loose. Ludwig is 0 for 2. He struck out, also flied out to left. Runners at first and second. And he looks at a strike. And you go from one extreme to the other when you talk about Holiday, his struggles with runners in scoring position, and then Ludwig with what he's done this year.
Second in the National League with his average with runners in scoring position, 442.
0-2. With a shallow right, and the catch is made. So 2 outs with 2 on. 4-4 game here in the Cardinals half of the 5th.
Fastball right there. Then he takes another fastball. So hit 0-2, and then he gets a fastball and little dunker out into right. It's caught. And with that, new life as the right-hander gets to face the left-hander hitting Kobe Rasmus with the left-hander warming up in the pin.
Ryan Howard, by the way, a single away from the cycle. He tripled in his first at bat. Hit a solo home run to right. That was in the 2nd inning. So now he's also had another home run and a double. So big night for the St. Louis and Ryan Howard, and a single away from the cycle.
Leading 9-2 against the Twinkies.
0-1 pitch to Colby. To the count on Rasmus. Here's an 0-2 pitch to Colby. They elevated it. I'm sure that if you asked Kurt Suzuki, he probably wanted that pitch a little bit higher.
I agree with you. This one down.
And tied him up and strikes him out. But the Cardinals pick up 2 here in their half of the 5th. 4-4 game. Eckersley, McGuire, Mulder, or Holiday. And we go with Matt Holiday, the most recent trade.
Isn't that amazing? The Mulder trade more so than Eckersley.
Getting a closer, and at that time a future Hall of Famer, and at that time also you knew he was headed to the Hall of Fame.
But, you know, Matt, glad to have our fans root for a current guy. See if Carpenter can't continue what he did last inning, as he was very efficient, only throwing 9 pitches. He's at 83 now.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Mark Ellis. It's up and popped up. Playable. Pujols over. Watch out.
Joe West.
Joe West. The lead blocker for Albert Pujols.
Wherever Albert was going, Joe West couldn't get out of his way.
He's ready for him to push him over.
And he wasn't singing to him either. The singing cowboy, watch this. almost fell down right in front of him. He would have tripped right over him. That could have been ugly.
Expo Camp presented by Plaza Tire Service.
Joe's found a little controversy this year.
Patterson is on deck.
He criticized the Boston Yankees for their slow play.
You know what, Al? I think he said what everybody's feeling.
Oh, I had no problem with it.
Yeah.
But some people question whether that was the right thing for him to say it. Of course, Major League Baseball has tried to implement speed-up rules, and it seems like everyone tries to follow them except for those two clubs, they say.
Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines Fox Tracks on a pitch that's up. Pennington chased it. Following his 2 base hits. He's now 2 for 3. And we'll see a pinch hitter here. Eric Patterson.
.208. He has 4 home runs, 9 RBIs. Looks like he can run. Flew out as a pinch hitter Wednesday. He's 1 for 5 with a home run this season as a pinch hitter. He's 2 for 14 in his career. He's perfect, 6 for 6 in stolen base attempts and 20 out of the last 21.
Popped up. Freeze over. He's got it. Midway through 6, and it's 4-4. Steel outdoor equipment. Powerful, lightweight, dependable, versatile yard care solutions. Start at steeldealers.com. By Lumiere Casino, your next home could be on the house. River City Casino and Lumiere Place Casino and Hotels is giving away a $250,000 home plus 18-room makeovers now through July 2nd. Visit rivercity.com for details. And by AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Gorgeous night for baseball here in St. Louis. 4-4 game. Here's David Freese against a sidewinder, Mr. Ziegler. Brad Ziegler, our Chevy call to the pen. He is from this area. The ground ball to short, one away. Ziegler, his 34th appearance. He is 2-3, a 2.76 ERA. He's got 22 strikeouts at 32 2/3, and opponents are hitting .227 against him.
Month of May, his ERA is 4.50. Been very busy as he was tied for the American League lead with his 33 previous appearances.
That's hit out to deep left. Will it carry out of here? It's at the track and caught near the wall. Ziegler is from Springfield, Missouri. And our buddy B.J. Rains writes on FoxSportsMidwest.com that Ziegler talked about in amateur baseball giving up a home run to Albert Pujols when he thought he had him out because the pitch was in on the handle. It carried out for a home run by Pujols. So read that at FoxSportsMidwest.com.
Whenever you see a guy like this, and Carpenter, Willie,
oh, good play.
Nice play.
So the Cardinals go in order, and it sends us to the 7th. That's a heck of a play by the shortstop. Cliff Pennington takes the hit away from Carpenter. 4-4 after 6. Move to the top of the 7th here at Busch Stadium. Hardy's prime cut of the game. Off the bat of Matt Holliday, a line drive home run. This was early on in the first inning. Our Hardy's prime cut of the game.
Nice to see, isn't it? Nice to see that Holliday 3 for 3. 3 RBIs.
Shallow right center. Almost caught by Schumacher. And a leadoff hit for Davis to start the 7th.
It's his 4th hit of the game.
Brings in Barton. Now remember, after he led off the game with a single, it was Barton that was trying to lay down a bunt. Eventually moved him over. Great effort there by Skip Schumacher.
Got in on his hands a little bit, but muscled out there for his 4th hit. Barton 0 for 3. Cardinals looking for the double play.
So nobody out, runner at first, good speed in Davis. And time called.
That's a situation there that the bench ordering Carpenter just to hold the ball, see if the hitter gives away anything. The bunt beyond. Earlier in this game, they thought that Barton would bunt. That was all the way back in the first, right?
That's right.
That was when Barton got off the game, or Davis led off the game with a double, trying to sacrifice him over to third, take an early lead.
And Carpenter would love the double play here. Cardinals turned a nifty double play earlier. We didn't talk enough about that 3-6-3 double play off the bat of Jackson back in the fourth. Pujols had the lead. Brendan Ryan to the bag at second, and then it's one of those plays where, depending where you're at off the bag, do you go back to first, or is the pitcher covering? Pujols got back, and they turned the double play.
The pitcher will always come over there, but anytime the first baseman can retreat and get back to the bag, he will accept the throw. But what made that a nifty double play was Albert Pujols' aggressive and his ability to throw.
Here's a 1-0 pitch on its way. Take it for a strike. So many times, and we've talked about it, where the running game is controlled by Tony La Russa. He will call the pitch out, certainly, and also the throwovers. Just trying to disrupt the timing of a speedster like Davis.
That's what he's doing right now, signaling to Yachty about what he wants Carpenter to do in an effort to stop the running game.
There he goes. They pitch out, throw to second. Goodbye. They got him. They guessed right. Davis out. And Barton attempted on the swing to protect his base runner.
And that's what you try to do. You almost really take that really late swing to try and disrupt the timing of the catcher. But a speedster that has a high success ratio, there he tries to disrupt it. And Yadi's strong throw. Davis trying to go around the tag, but can't do so.
1-2 is pulled foul. Remember, it took 50 pitches to get through 2 innings for Carpenter, and now here he is pitching in the 7th inning.
Well, we talked about, that's not that uncharacteristic for him once he gets settled in.
There's the curveball, and it's tapped foul. That was pitch number 96. Take a look at your pitches by inning. 22 in the first, 32 in the second, and then after that, gradually better and better. In the fourth, he only had 4. That was the single, and then erased on the double play. Again, Barton taps it foul. Roger Clemens has made his way back to Fenway Park. He was sitting in the seats in the Monster tonight. First game back as a fan. Still the all-time leader in wins in Red Sox history. 2-2. He's still tied with Cy Young. 192 wins.
The grand jury is still convened and taking testimony from some of his former teammates or guys. Well, they're all former teammates, I guess. To hear about his perjury charges against Congress.
Media did try to approach him, but no surprise, he didn't want to say anything. Tim Wakefield, by the way, just surpassed him for most innings by a Boston pitcher. Tim Wakefield.
Did Tim Wakefield's, were you with me? Wakefield's major league debut was against the Cardinals.
Pittsburgh Pirate, right?
Pittsburgh Pirates. I remember talking with Ted Simmons. That time he was general manager of the Pirates, and he said he's a legitimate knuckleballer.
Here's a 3-2. Ground ball. He will win the battle. Barton retired. 2 away. 6 is a serious number. The Cardinals score 6. You get a 20-ounce coffee, fountain, or frozen drink for just $0.25. The next day at On the Run at Mobile, win or lose, Cardinals score 6. You score 25-cent drinks at On the Run. remember talking with Tim Wakefield. They said it's not so much important what I do between side starts. It's how I manicure my nails. And he was serious.
Well,
throwing that knuckleball.
Yeah, I mean, knuckleballers where you grip it with your, dig your fingernails into the baseball.
A couple of hops that will carry to Holiday on a hanging breaking ball. Since he left Oakland, over 1,200 wins, over 1,100 losses, 525 winning percentage, 5 playoffs.
He's won 8 division titles, 2 pennants, and 1 world championship with the Cardinals, as he's the franchise leader in wins.
So at that time, when Tony was with that team, that was a look at what Oakland had done after Tony La Russa, their franchise, and what they had done. Remember, they had some pretty good teams and good players.
Of late, they've got a very awkward situation. They just can't afford to continue to play in the Coliseum.
It's a fly ball out to left. 7th inning stretch time. Oakland has stranded 6 against Carpenter tonight. We move to the Cardinals half of the 7th on a warm, muggy night here in St. Louis. And our ball game was tied up at 4-4. Cardinals jumped out to a 2-0 lead. That was in the first on a Matt Holliday home run. And for Holliday, that was his 7th home run. RBIs 26-27. Oakland came back with 4 in the top of the 2nd to make it 4-2. And the Cardinals tied it up. Their half of the 5th. RBIs by Holliday and Pujols. And that's where it stands, 4-4.
See, sidewinder, submariner, throws from the first base side. Right-handed batters are only batting 171 against him, but a very good look for the lefties as they're batting 350.
Ryan hits it down the left field line. This could be trouble. It is. It's a fair ball. Hustling all the way, and Brendan Ryan in there with a stand-up double. His 2nd hit tonight.
And you talk about the bullpen. You get into their bullpen, particularly on the road. They have it better than 2.5 runs more on the road in their ERA. And just a well-placed blue pit. And with Brendan Ryan's speed, he gets out there a double, so he's been on base twice. First base hit, he walked earlier.
Now at the Schumacher, you certainly think about a bunt here. Skip with a couple of base hits and a run scored. Showing bunt and strike one.
Poor form has really dropped that bat head and kind of just the angle just produced the pop-up. Kindle going to talk to him here, but just the mere fact that you put pressure on the defense. And Dan, we watching Schumacher on a daily basis, when they have the third baseman really kind of guarding the line, he hits so well to left field. And another poor attempt.
Yep, he offered at it. That's strike two. You wonder about trying to bunt a guy that throws like this, really slings it up there.
You have to be patient, let the ball come to you. Can't stab at it, but I like to have him just hitting away to the opposite field. Well, that sure looks like a balk, doesn't it?
Sure does.
He steps off, but just the way he came there and stepped off, it just, because of his arm angle, you don't often see it. It just looks unusual. Is the bunt still on? Or is he swinging away?
0-2 pitch. Curious, Al, and you mentioned where he works from the first base side to the rubber. Your sidewinder, wouldn't you be more effective against right-handed batters being on the left side over the third base side?
Traditionally, or normally you would think so. But, you know, maybe because of the action of his ball, maybe if he does that, he gets, you know, he throws too far inside and hits people. But came in, as I said, right-handers only batting 171 against him. So that's, can't argue with that. But 351 for left-handed batters.
Here's a 1-2. Pulled and fair. Down the first base line. Into the corner it goes. Ryan will score. And a fan touched it. So it's going to be a ground rule double. And it may have cost Schumacher a triple.
And he's happy. The fan.
Cardinals lead it now by the score of 5-4.
3 hits for Skip tonight on RBI. So want to throw this ball away. Comes back over the middle of the plate. And Skip just rifles it down here. Now here's where the fan reaches down and touches it. Probably would have been a triple.
And this will be a productive out for Holiday, advancing Schumacher all the way to third with only one out. This season, it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make. It's on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. You'll find great seats, great service on StubHub. And you can head to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
And the Cardinals have, or excuse me, the Athletics got 3 left-handers in the bullpen. You really have to question why Ziegler was allowed to pitch to Schumacher.
Oh,
wow.
Ziegler threw that basically over the top.
Yeah, and you see he doesn't have command up there as he's supposed to throw it outside. And
maybe he was just upset with Angel Hernandez. A couple of calls that didn't go his way.
I've got newfound respect for him if he did.
Certainly the way that he throws is not the way that you would teach it, the way that he slings it.
It's that submarine, which is very easy on your arm. It's abnormal to throw a ball above your waist. An arm action above your waist.
You could be asking for trouble here with Ludwig. Quiet tonight, but we've seen him come through in these spots time and again this year. Pujols is walked now for the 50th time this year. And that's his 19th intentional, so 2 walks tonight.
Our young pitching coach out to talk to Ziegler with Ludwig coming up. He's 0 for 3. Bowers, left-hander warming up.
Second time that he's been up in this ball game, Cedric Bowers.
See what I'm saying is they have 3 down there. Now we're not quite sure how much they've been overworked. They did not have an off day yesterday. They played. But you got 3 guys down there, and Ziegler allows 350 batting average to left-handed batters. You got to question why he was allowed to face Ziegler was allowed to face a left-handed hitter.
Albert closing in on Vladimir Guerrero in the intentional walk department. Base hit into right. It's a 2-run lead for the Cardinals. Ludwig makes it pay. Schumacher scores, and it's 6-4.
41st RBI for Ludwig, and he's very comfortable hitting in the cleanup spot. You're going to jumpstart Holiday. Ludwig's handling the pressure. This lineup looks really good right now.
And with Colby Rasmus coming up, the lefty Bowers will come in. Cardinals have scored 4 unanswered. It's our Chevy called to the bullpen. The lefty-lefty matchup when we come back. Lefty for the Oakland A's, and this is his 7th appearance. 6 2/3 with 9 strikeouts for Bowers, and he'll face Colby Rasmus. Runners at first and second for the Cardinals, and Carpenter now is well above 100 pitches, but no activity in the Cardinals bullpen right now. Colby tonight with a strikeout his last time up. He has walked and also flied out to center.
There's a happy young man with his lineup. Bowers was recalled from AAA Sacramento on June the 4th, his 2nd stint with the A's this year. And he has not allowed a run in 4 of his 5 outings since his return. He's stranded all 4 inherited runners over that span. He has retired only 1 of 5 first hitters. He was in the Philadelphia Phillies organization last year, pitching at AAA.
2 runners on, 1 out. Fought off, little bloop, and that will be caught by the shortstop. Here's David Freese, who was struck out, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play, and also grounded out to short.
Stars actually this year has been better against right-handed hitters than lefties at AAA.
And that's inside to Freeze.
Big high leg kick, and then a lot of movement coming at you, arms and legs, and that was 94 miles an hour at his back foot.
Working from that first base side of the rubber. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Reaching for it, Freeze, slicing down the right field line and foul. They scramble for that souvenir. You know, a good question, Al, would be, is that something that is developed through the minor leagues, or they're told to do that? It's something maybe that an organization develops with lefties or righties or sidewinders, or is it up to the personal preference of the pitcher?
I think it's up to the personal preference. Now, if you're having trouble locating your pitches, you may change on the rubber, but it's ideally what you're most comfortable with. Now, McGuire did tell me that as a collective group, the A's pitchers try to pitch a little more inside than most other clubs.
He's hitting .400 against these lefties. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on. 6-4 Cardinals. Just missed on the inside portion of the plate. Phillies beat the Twins 9-5. That's now a final. Marlins over Tampa Bay 7-4. They're just underway. Cincinnati and Seattle. No score in the first. Detroit over Arizona 7-5. Toronto beat San Francisco 3-2. Uh-oh. Now they got him in a rundown. With 2 outs, Pujols caught between second and third. You just don't want him to get hurt. So with 2 on, a rundown, and it's 6-4 after 7. From Anaheim at 7, and it's only on Fox. So no Chris Carpenter here in the 8th. Cardinals turn it over to McClellan. They'll get Sweeney, Kuzminoff, and Ellis. First pitch, a strike on the outside corner. McClellan has very good numbers this year.
kind of watching the Cardinal at bats and never really saw McClellan warm up. I'm sure he did and told everyone he was ready.
Only a 2.32 ERA in his 27 games. The bottom dropped out of that pitch at 85. 31 innings on the year. 23 hits. He's given up 9 runs. 8 of those have been earned. You saw the 28 strikeouts. On a hop to second base. Skip's got it to Albert. Sweeney retired. He's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight.
A couple walk-off losses for Kyle, but other than those, you know, he's been outstanding like he's been his first 2 years in the big leagues.
Don't you, Al, feel really comfortable with him in this role right now, this 8th inning role?
No doubt about it.
Kuzminoff, the hitter. Grounded back to the pitcher. He's grounded to short a couple of times.
Trevor Miller warming up in case needed. Pennington's a switch hitter. They've got 3 lefties on their bench. And Powell, another switch hitter.
Kuzminoff is 0 for 2. But just missed. 1 out, nobody on. Cardinals leading it by 2 runs. Sheets and Wainwright tomorrow will come your way. Note the start time at 5:30. Fox Sports Midwest.
Some good curveballs in that game.
Ben Sheets and Wainwright, both those guys are quick workers. Sheets is one of the fastest workers in baseball.
You've seen Adam do the same thing. Very efficient.
Three and 2. We saw that rundown with Pujols, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, Al, because it looked like Ludwig was caught between first and second, and then once that happened, Pujols was caught between second and third.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. A fastball away in the middle of the plate, but a ground out to third.
Freeze backs up and makes the play. We'll try to take a look on this replay to see exactly what unfolded. We get a look at Albert. See, he's not going anywhere, and then Suzuki caught Ludwig between first and second, so then Albert knew that he had to go.
Right. It's so whether one of them missed the sign.
I think it might have been the fact that he thought that ball was going to get away from Suzuki, so he started to be aggressive to go to second, meaning Ludwig.
You can't go there. You know, if you're the trailing runner, you've got to watch the runner ahead of you, and you have to wait for him to take off.
Hey, I'm not saying it's the right move. They got caught, no doubt.
You get caught, can pay the piper.
Crowd tonight of 40,083 here at Busch Stadium. 40083.
Cardinals way up there in attendance. And the top, I think they're third in baseball.
Mentioned earlier, the Cardinals have gone over 3 million in tickets sold once again this year. Still a long ways to go. Good seats for tomorrow night and again on Sunday afternoon. One-two pitch to Ellis. Grounder circled there by Brendan Ryan. Throws on the run, makes the play. Good work by Kyle McClellan. A's go 1-2-3. 6-4 St. Louis. Is brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By AT Uverse, a better TV experience. Visit att.com for details. And by Bank of America, Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Nice night for baseball, and the Cardinals lead it 6-4 behind 9 hits tonight. Holiday with 3 RBIs. The bottom of the 8th rolls in, and David Freese will lead it off.
And tomorrow at T.R. Hughes Ballpark, the Blues alumni are going to be taking on the Cardinals alumni in a charity softball game.
Afternoon or night?
It'd be afternoon. Autograph session starts like at 11 o'clock. And really made some beautiful posters with pictures of both the Blues and Cardinal alumni on there, and get autographs, and then they'll play a game for the Charlie Anna Foundation. So we hope everyone will come out. More information, contact rivercityrascals.com.
Freese was left standing at the plate back in the bottom of the 7th, and Pujols was caught in that rundown. Are you playing?
I will be there. I will be there.
You're signing. You're not playing.
No, I'll be observing. I don't have to prepare for our game tomorrow night, but I will be there.
Strikeout of Freese.
The Blues will be there. I think Bernie Federico won them, but Mabry, Rizzi, Tyson, Dow Maxwell, some of the older guys were signing like I'm obliged to do. But Scott Cooper, I'm definitely an older guy that will be just signing and observing, trying to stay injury-free.
Al, I remember coming to an old-timers game at Busch Stadium.
Yes.
And at that point in time, number 39
was old.
Was being worn, and you were doing the Matt Hungarian routine. And then you threw some type of ball that had smoke on it, or
no,
flour or something.
I was so strong that I could make a ball catch on fire.
So like I said, Al, it was
rub it up,
flour or smoke or whatever it was. But I think maybe you should bring that back out tomorrow. I'll just throw that out at you and see what transpires.
Yeah, we expect a lot of kids there, and I wouldn't want to scare anybody.
Oh, you won't, Al. I know you're a nice guy, and I'm making sure everybody knows that. So really, you should get back out there and let it rip. 1-2.
Well, actually, Terry Ake and all the guys, they thought that you should come out and play against them. They said they'd love to get a little bit of your action.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
No, but it has an autograph from 11 to 12, and then the game starts, I think, at 12:15. And can't thank the Blues enough. They're a good bunch of guys, and you know them a lot better than I, but do a lot of things in the community.
1-2 is spoiled. It is amazing when there's something that pops up, a charity, a foundation that needs help, Blues alumni will get together and they'll create a night, a game, and sign autographs. And believe me, they like to have a lot of fun too.
And they're entitled to.
Absolutely.
But really, these collector's item, the poster they have, and for the donation to the charity, you get all the players to sign that. There's also an early meet and greet. People who want to have a little more personal and get autographs from all the guys and get a chance to meet them.
1-2 the count on Yadier Molina with one out. Yadi is hitless tonight as he strikes out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. It's Ryan Franklin getting loose.
Stavinoa pinch hit double Wednesday and a pinch hit base hit on Tuesday. He now leads the major leagues, Stavinoa, after good inning of McClellan, but he leads the major leagues with 10 pinch hit hits, including 2 pinch hit home runs this year. Good to see that. It's not an easy art, pinch hitting, and with a .323 average. He had a 7-game hitting streak earlier. He's two hit streak now. That's not easy when you're a pinch hitter.
I love the fact, Al, that when he goes up there, he doesn't get cheated.
The only way you can really be criticized as a pinch hitter is taking strikes. So you go up there pumping.
3-0. And it's one thing to go to, and you talk to Nick, he'll tell you, it's one thing to go to a cage that's below the seats here at Busch Stadium and take some BP and hit off a tee and you get loose. It's not hard to get loose with this weather that we have right now, but you come in the game and live action, totally different animal.
He's sitting there for almost 3 hours. Then you get one shot to pinch hit. And does a nice job just by walking.
Extends this inning to Brendan Ryan. Franklin, who's getting loose, will be looking for save number 13 on the year. Will it be a save situation, though? You never know. 2-out rally here by the Cardinals.
As long as it's under 3 runs when he enters this game, it will be a save situation. 3 runs or less.
Short lead at first by Stavinoa. 2-hit night for Brendan. And out to visit Suzuki.
Mentioned his numbers in the minor leagues show that he has better success against right-handed batters than lefties. Lefties batting .217 and right-handed batters are well under 200. 159. Oh, excuse me, 130 for righties, 217 for lefties.
And a check on Stavinoa. Not a threat to steal over there. One pitch to Ryan. 1-2 the count.
Pulled the string.
To the bottom of the lineup coming up for Oakland. Looking ahead to the 9th. And Ryan chased the ball and strikes out as he drops his bat. And sends us to the 9th. 6-4 St. Louis. They'll be at the Aqua Bar at Lumiere Casino. Jim Hayes and Rick Horton coming up. The post-game show from the Aqua Bar. 6-4 Cardinals. Pennington will lead it off, and then we'll see a pinch hitter and the top of the lineup for Oakland.
Jack Kuss.
And here are the numbers for Franklin. 26th appearance. He's 12 of 13 in the save opportunity department. 1.86 ERA, and opponents hitting 208. Remember the beginning of the year? All the concern about the relief corps, and in particular, your closer. Throw that out the window. The relievers have been terrific, and so has Ryan Franklin.
Trying to pick up his third save of the week. That's Friday in Arizona, and then one earlier in the series against Seattle.
Up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pennington, who's doubled. That was back in the second. He also scored a run that inning, singled in the third, and struck out in the 6th. Here's a 1-1 pitch. On the outside corner. 2-2. Curveball and a swing and a miss.
Good curveball there. Good location. If he hits it, you're pounding the dirt. Starts out low and then breaks right to the ground before it drops the plate. So very good for Jack Kuss. Will pinch hit here. Batting .357. A couple home runs, 7 RBIs in his last 12 games.
This is a guy that has very good power. He was leading the Pacific Coast League in walks, ranked 3rd in on-base percentage at the time of his promotion.
It's hard to. He's just crushed the Cardinals, over 600 against them in their league play.
Quickly, 2 away. Let's turn to our player of the game, presented by Budweiser. Matt Holliday, 3 for 4, 3 RBIs, 2-run homer, a couple of singles. Our Budweiser player of the game.
How about Holliday and Schumacher, 6 for 8 in this game with 4 RBIs. So Franklin trying to look for that 13th save against a guy that's 4 for 4. Rajah Davis.
Top of the lineup with his speed, keep him off the bases. One 0 pitch. That's a strike. Post-game show. The guys are standing by. The 1-1 misses in.
Yeah, this is only the 6th appearance in June for Franklin.
I noticed that.
And talked to him a little bit as he hasn't been able to really locate his pitches as well as he'd like. The summer layoff, but Cardinals had a big losing streak.
2-2. 1 strike away from taking game 1 tonight.
Making a statement, first game of the series, Cardinals would be 6-1 against Oakland in their career. And also Oakland's troubles on the road would continue.
Little fly ball out to center. Cardinals win it 6-4. Carpenter to win. Save to Franklin. Big night for Holliday. With a home run tonight, just one off the bat of Matt Holliday. A total of $18,000 has been raised in our game for prostate cancer research. to make a donation, you can call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. Well, stay with us. We've got the postgame show coming up. Much more to come right here on Fox Sports Midwest.